बात आता है कि जो हमारा एक प्रधानमंत्री थे पहले, वो प्रधानमंत्री ऐसा ही एक सम्मेलन, बंजारा सम्मेलन में आयोजित में उद्घाटन के लिए आए थे। उस समय बंजारा महिलाओं का ड्रेस पहन के वो खुशी व्यक्त किए और साथों साथ अगर पुनर्जन्म है तो मुझे भगवान बंजारा जनजाति में मुझे जन्म दे बोल के बोले। और साथों साथ वो बोलते हैं कि जो वस्त्र का बुनने वाला बुननेदार जो वस्त्र बुनता है, जो हम खादी या दूसरा वस्त्र पहनते हैं ना, वो जो हम खादी या दूसरा वस्त्र पहनते हैं ना, वो वस्त्र पहनता है ना, उस पहन की आकर्षक आने के लिए वो क्या करता है, वो पीले रंग का जो सोने रंग का वस्त्र को उसमें मिलाता है, वो पीले रंग से पूरा वस्त्र का आकर्षण बढ़ जाता है। ऐसा भारतीय संस्कृति का आकर्षण बंजारा लोग हैं। ये बंजारा संस्कृति है ना, ये राष्ट्रीय संस्कृति है। बंजारा लोग जो आज हमें हिमाचल प्रदेश से कन्याकुमारी तक, यहाँ जो हमें गुजरात से तेलुगु आंध्र प्रदेश तक हमें देखने को मिलता है, ये राष्ट्रीय प्रतीक है। सभी राज्यों में हमें बंजारा जनजाति लोग हमें मिलते हैं। जो पूर्व भाग में है ना, जो पूर्व और ईशान्य भाग में रहते, वहाँ थोड़ा कम है, लेकिन अदर स्टेट में हमारे लोग पहचानते हैं। बंजारा संस्कृति को एकत्र करने की चीज़ है वो हमारे जो महिलाओं का वेशभूषण है और साथों साथ हमारा भाषा है। जो हमारा भाषा, जो अभी साहब ने बताया कि ये भिन्न भिन्न नाम से पुकारे जाने वाला है, पहचाने वाले हमारा बंजारा भाषा है। हमारे लोग भिन्न भिन्न जो श्रम करते हैं, जो कायक करते हैं, जो कर्म करते हैं, वो कर्म से उनको पहचानने का हम देखते हैं। इसीलिए 27 नामों से भारत में पहचानने वाला एक ही ट्राइबल वो बंजारा ट्राइबल है। वो वैविध्यता, वो बंजारा जो का काम करते हैं, वो काम से उनको जो सिंगारे बंजारा, यहाँ आंध्रा में सुगाली बंजारा, लंबाणी बंजारा और दूसरा नाम से जो पुकारते हैं, ये 27 जो नाम से पुकारने वाला एक ही ट्राइबल वो बंजारा ट्राइबल हम देख सकते हैं। इसीलिए बंजारा जो ये वैविध्यता है, ये हमें एक तरह से ये कर्स बन गई है। जो आजकल सारे देश में हमें बंजारा को देखते हैं, उनकी भाषा को देखते हैं। जो बंजारा बात करते हैं वो एक को दूसरे से पहचान लेते हैं। आज भाई लोगों का जो महिलाओं का वेशभूषण है, वो वेशभूषण भी हमें कम हो रहा है। साथों साथ बंजारा का भाषा भी आज वो हमसे दूर हो रही है। सो आज जो राष्ट्रीयता का प्रतीक बंजारा है, जो भारतीय संस्कृति का एक सुनहरे रंग बंजारा है, वो बंजारा का भाषा कल्चर जो आइडेंटिटी है, वो आइडेंटिटी कम हो रही है। इसीलिए बंजारों का इतिहास क्या है, जो इतिहास नहीं जानता वो इतिहास निर्माण नहीं कर सकता। लेकिन हमारा बंजारों का इतिहास कहाँ है, ये हमारे इतिहास के बारे में अलग अलग लोगों ने बताते हैं कि बंजारा लोग बिफोर जो क्राइस्ट वे, जो सिंधु संस्कृति था, वो सिंधु संस्कृति के पूर्व संस्कृति बंजारा संस्कृति था। इतना ही नहीं, गौर बंजारे लोग ये राज करने वाले लोग थे, गौर वंशीय लोग थे। ऐसा जो उनका अभिप्राय देते हम देखते हैं। लेकिन जो बंजारों का जो सिनोनिम्स है, वो बंजारा कहाँ से आया, कैसे आए, उनका मूल स्थान कौन सा था, इसके बारे में बहुत मतभेद है साहब। जो सब लोग किंचित लोग बताते हैं कि ये बाहर से इधर आए। अफगानिस्तान में गोर प्रांत है, गोर प्रांत से ये गौरवंशीय भारत में आ गए। ये राजस्थान पंजाब एक ही राज्य था, तभी ये लोग वहाँ से यहाँ आ गए। ऐसे इनके बारे में जो बताने का हिस्टोरियंस या इतिहास तज्ञ हैं वो बताने का इरादा हम देखते हैं। और साथों साथ ये लोग मेरे मुताबिक ये बाहर से नहीं आए हैं, यहाँ भारत में इतने नहीं, ये विदेश में भी ये लोग हैं। इनको सब कुछ विद्वान लोग बताते हैं कि ये 17-60 देशों में ये लोग हैं, अमेरिका, इजिप्ट, रशिया, जर्मनी, ऐसे 60 देशों में हैं। कुछ लोग बताते हैं कि नहीं, ये 114 देशों में ये लोग हैं। इसलिए ये समग्र अध्ययन इनके बारे में अभी होने का बहुत जरूरी है। और अभी 2-3 विद्वान लोगों ने यहाँ बताए हैं, यहाँ हमारा सूर्य धनंजय मैडम इधर आए हैं, वो और भांग्या भूक्या और जो हमारा जो धनंजय वो दिनेश राठौड़, दिनेश नाइक, ये 2-3 किताबें यहाँ पे अभी 2-3 साल पहले आए जो मैं देखा है, उसके बारे में जो थोड़ा हिस्टोरिकल एविडेंस देने का प्रयत्न वहाँ किए हैं। लेकिन ये इनका जो मूल स्थान है और इनका जो पहलाव हुआ है, इसके बारे में 1-2 विद्वान लिखने का, 1-2 विद्वान छानबीन करने से नहीं होने वाला है। ये इनका जो इतिहास हम लिखते हैं उनको पुरावे होना, उनको डॉक्यूमेंट्स होना, जहाँ पर सिंधु घाटी में होते, सप्त नदी में होते, ऐसा एक ऐसा गीत है। इसीलिए सिंधु संस्कृति के पूर्व का संस्कृति जो बंजारा का है, यहाँ हमें एक ही आधार के ऊपर हम इनका इतिहास नहीं लिख सकते। इसीलिए जो हिस्टोरियंस हैं, एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट हैं, साथों साथ जो फोकलोरिस्ट हैं, जो सोशियोलॉजिस्ट हैं, ये भिन्न भिन्न तज्ञ लोग मिलके इनका इतिहास लिखने का बहुत जरूरी है आज। नहीं तो हमारा इतिहास हमें नहीं है तो कोई पहचान नहीं। जो हम बंजारा लोग हैं, हमारा आबादी इतना है, हमें ऐसा ऐसा हमें सहूलत होना, हमें पुरस्कार होना, और साथों साथ हमें सरकार के SC ST में, DNT में, इसमें उसमें डालने का हम जो प्रयत्न करते हैं ना, हमारा जो आइडेंटिटी है, हमारा जो मूल है, वो भी हमें नहीं मालूम है। तो नहीं मालूम हुआ तो हम कैसे ये हमारा सरकार के लिए, केंद्र सरकार, राज्य सरकार से हमें जो सहूलत मांगने का अधिकार भी बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है। इसीलिए इतिहास को लिखने का जरूरत आज बहुत है। जो हमारे विद्वान लोग यहाँ चर्चा करते हैं संगोष्ठी में, मेरा अनुरोध है कि जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स है वो डॉक्यूमेंट्स के मुताबिक हमारा इतिहास के बारे में हमें चर्चा करना और एक निर्णय आना। क्योंकि जो इतिहास लिखना है, तो जो इतिहास लिखने के समय पे हमें ये 2 चीज़ें, ये 2 अंश हमें याद रखना है। क्योंकि वो 2 अंश हम नहीं है तो इतिहास को बराबर से हमें पहचानना नहीं होता। जो इतिहास लिखने का निखर होना और साथों साथ उसको आधार होना। जो विथआउट रिसोर्स, विथआउट डॉक्यूमेंट्स हमें इतिहास नहीं पुरस्कार होता है। इसीलिए ऐसा इतिहास लिखने के बाद हमें इतिहास तज्ञों ने मान्य देना पड़ता है और सरकार भी उसे मानना पड़ता है, तभी हमारा इतिहास स्पष्ट रूप से बाहर आने का संभव है। इसीलिए यहाँ पे हमारे जो विद्वान लोग हैं वो चर्चा करें। इसीलिए मैं उनसे अनुरोध भी इस विषय पर मैं अनुरोध करता हूँ। साथों साथ हमारा भाषा ये हमारा आइडेंटिटी है। अभी साहब ने बताया जो मातृभाषा है हमारे देश में, अभी तक सरकार ने जो 10,000 से ज़्यादा लोग बात करते हैं, बोलते हैं, उन भाषाओं को मान्यता दे रहे हैं। ऐसी भाषाएं भारत में 121 है। उसमें सरकार ने अभी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में रिकग्नाइज किए सो ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज 22 है। हम देखते हैं पहले 14 लैंग्वेज थे, आज 22 हुआ। और जो डायलेक्ट्स है भारत में वो 19,500 है, जो लिंग्विस्टिक आज बताते हैं। इतनी भाषा है। भाषा मीन्स वो केवल माध्यम नहीं है वो, जो हमें व्यवहार करने का, बोलने का, हमारा जो विचार है, हमारा जो भावना है, उसको व्यक्त करने का माध्यम नहीं है वो। भाषा ऐसी एक चीज है, वो कल्चर है। भाषा मीन्स इट इज ए कल्चर। जो हमारा बंजारा भाषा है, ये बंजारा कल्चर है। लेकिन ये बंजारा भाषा जो हम नहीं बोलते, हमारे बच्चों को कैसे सिखाएं? आज हम देखते हैं कि जो हम बुजुर्ग लोग हैं, हम बात करते हैं घर में, हमारे बच्चों को जो प्रादेशिक लैंग्वेज है, यहाँ पे तेलुगु में बात करते, कन्नड़ा में बात करते, ऐसे गुजराती, राजस्थानी। भाइयों, उत्तर भारत में बंजारा भाषा लुप्त हो गई। आज जो मध्य प्रदेश से ऊपर गए तो बंजारा भाषा एज यूजुअल नहीं आता है, तो हिंदी मिक्स करके हिंदी में बोलते हैं। जो बंजारा कल्चर है ना, जो महिलाओं का वेशभूषण हो और जो भाषा हो, वो हम साउथ इंडिया में, दक्षिण भारत में, ये 3-4 राज्यों में देखते हैं। लेकिन ऐसा ही आगे हो गया तो हमें बंजारा भाषा भी हम खो देते हैं। इसीलिए बंजारा भाषा खोना वो हमारा कल्चर को खोना है। इसीलिए बंजारा भाषा को कैसे हम उसे बढ़ाएं, कैसे आगे ले जाएं? जो विदाउट लिटरेचर देयर इज नो लैंग्वेज सोर्सेस। इसीलिए बंजारा भाषा में अभी तक जो काम हुआ है, बंजारा लिटरेचर में जो काम हुआ है, अभी बहुत कुछ कम है हुआ है। इसीलिए बंजारा भाषाओं का जो साहित्य हमें मिलता है, वो जो हमें गीत मिलते हैं, प्रोवर्ब्स मिलते हैं, और जो कथन गीत मिलते हैं। भाइयों, हमें कर्नाटक में 2 अभी एफिक्स, बंजारा एफिक्स हम प्रकट किए हैं। एक रामायण है और अभी एक सेवालाल महाकाव्य है। 2 एफिक्स मिले हैं। इसी तरह हमें अभी एफिक्स भी मिल सकती हैं। आंध्र प्रदेश में, तेलंगाना में अभी एफिक्स की मिलता है, मिल सकती है। इसीलिए जो लिटरेचर है उसको कलेक्शन करना और उसको हमें जो हिंदी में, इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेशन करके हमें सरकार को दिखाना है। हमारा आबादी इतना है, हमारा लिटरेचर इतना है, जो लिटरेचर से लैंग्वेज को प्रोत्साहन, लैंग्वेज की जो ऑथेंटिसिटी है वो लिटरेचर से मिल सकती है। इसीलिए हमें लिटरेचर को कलेक्ट करना, प्रकट करना भी बहुत जरूरी है। लेकिन हम जो हमारा जो बंजारा भाषा है, इसको हम देवनागरी लिपि, विदाउट लिपि हमें भाषा को अभिवृद्धि करने का कर नहीं सकते। इसीलिए उसे हमें जो देवनागरी लिपि है, देवनागरी लिपि में, जहाँ तेलंगाना में हो, कर्नाटक में हो, आंध्र प्रदेश, कहाँ भी हो हम, लेकिन वो देवनागरी स्क्रिप्ट में बंजारा लिटरेचर को हम प्रकट करना बहुत जरूरी है। और साथों साथ उसको इंग्लिश और दूसरे भाषा में भी तर्जुमे, ट्रांसलेशन करने की भी जरूरत है। भाइयों, इसी तरह भाषा को हमें अभिवृद्धि करना है। इसीलिए जो भाषा को हम 8th शेड्यूल में डालने का प्रयत्न भी होना चाहिए। उसके लिए यहाँ पे जो हमारे विद्वांस लोग चर्चा करते हैं, तभी वो पार्लियामेंट को जाना, जो असेंबली से जाना पड़ता है। इसीलिए मेरा अनुरोध है, जो असेंबली में हमारे लोग हैं, जो पार्लियामेंट में हमारे लोग हैं, वो सब मिलकर प्रयत्न करने के बावजूद हमें 8th शेड्यूल में हमारा भाषा जा सकती है। जो सिंधी है और जो कोंकणी है, जो 15 लाख, 20 लाख, 25 लाख, 27 लाख इतनी जनसंख्या जो है, वो जनसंख्या की भाषा आज 8th शेड्यूल में है, 22 लैंग्वेज में है। हमारा तो भाइयों 4 करोड़, 6 करोड़, 8 करोड़ करते हैं। एज इट इज 2 करोड़ मिनिमम है हमारा। इसीलिए हमें जो जनसंख्या है, जो आगे जो सेंसस 22 में, 22 का जो सेंसस 21 का आता है, तब हमारी भाषा को वो सेंसस में लाने का, जो हमारा भाषा का जो अनुसूचित करने का प्रयत्न हम करना बहुत जरूरी है। इसी तरह का जो आलोचना, जो चर्चाएं हमारे विद्वांस लोग यहाँ कर सकते हैं। भाइयों, हमारा जो वेशभूषण है, हमारा जो साहित्य है, अनमोल है। हमारा कड़ी तोड़ी जो त्योहार है, बहुत ये कल्चर बहुत विशिष्ट है। यहाँ पे तीज त्योहार बनाने का, होली बनाने का, ये सब देखने से बंजारा को देख के हमें जीना है। जीने का सिखाने वाले बंजारा लोग हैं। इतना उत्कृष्ट जो कल्चर है, कल्चर मीन्स उसका रहन सहन, त्योहार, बातचीत, रिचुअल्स, उनका संबंध, ये सब कल्चर में आता है। इसीलिए हमारा कल्चर अनमोल कल्चर है। यहाँ पे हमारे लोग यहाँ जो लिटरेचर के बारे में, या जो रिटन लिटरेचर के बारे में, जो हमारे रहन सहन के बारे में, जो हमारे तीज त्योहार के बारे में, जो हमारा भाषा के बारे में, जो हमारे ओरिजिन और स्प्रेड के बारे में यहाँ जो आप सब मिलकर हम चर्चा करते हैं ना, उसके सुझाव होना है ऐसे ही बताने से जो फायदा नहीं है हमें मालूम है, लेकिन उसको बढ़ाना कैसा, उसको सरकार की मान्यता कैसे ले सकते हैं, और जो भाषा को अभिवृद्धि कैसे कर सकते हैं, पहले हमारे घर में हम बात करना, बाद में समाज में बात करना, इसी से हमें बढ़ाते हैं। भाइयों, जे सारू कायचा आपण भाषानं, आपण संस्कृतीनं आपण कोणच तरीकाती आगे आंग ले जा सकाचा, आपण भाषा घणं सूक्ष्म एकच एक उदाहरण के मार बात ये करूँ मग जो अपन ऑफिसर्स लोग थे, जो सचिव हैं, उनको बंजारा भाषा में मालूम नहीं होता, इसलिए मैं हिंदी में बात किया। अपन विधि कराचा, जो हम प्रेयर करते हैं साहब, जो बलि देने के बाद प्रेयर करते हैं, प्रेयर करने के समय में हम ऐसे प्रेयर करते हैं, कीड़ी मूंगी न साइवेस, खूटा मुंगरीन साइवेस, गोर कोरून साइवेस, पड़ी रोटी खड़ी करेस, ई पूजा तार देवड़े न पूजा सेन साइवेन सोबत रेस करता है अपन करा। इसका मीनिंग है कि जो हमें रक्षा करने वाले हैं, प्रोटेक्ट करने वाले हैं, सेवा भाया मरियमा गॉडेसेस है, जो केवल मनुष्य को नहीं, जो कीड़ी मूंगी, जो यहाँ पे जो जीव जंतु है, जो हमारे पशु पक्षी हैं, जो हमारे भाई बंद हैं, इतना ही नहीं, जो नॉन लंबानीज है, सभी को भगवान तुमने रक्षा करो, आगे बढ़ाओ, ऐसा एक लोक दृष्टि, विशाल दृष्टिकोण, जो वर्ल्ड व्यू कहते हैं ना, वो बंजारा जो साहित्य में है, बंजाराओं के मन में है। इतना विशाल मनोभाव, इतना सौहार्द, इतना राष्ट्रीय प्रेम, जो हम बताते हैं राष्ट्रीय प्रेम क्या है, राष्ट्रीय प्रेम सबको एकत्र करना है, राष्ट्रीय प्रेम सबको जो मैं हूँ वो भी ऐसा है, जो एकत्र करने का मन है ना, वो विशाल मनोभाव, वही राष्ट्रीयता है। ऐसा राष्ट्रीय मनोभाव बंजारा लोगों में, बंजारा साहित्य में हमें मिलता है। इसके अलावा जो दिवाली में हमें पूजा करते हैं, जब आरती करते हैं, जो कुमारियाँ, जो लड़कियाँ, सब तांडा के सब घर को जाके वो वर्षे धन कोर दवाड़े, भैया तो न मेरा, बापू तो न मेरा, सेवालाल तो न मेरा, मरियामा तो न मेरा, ऐसा वो क्या करते हो, आशीष देते हैं, आशीष मांगते हैं। यहाँ ये जो प्रथा है, ये राष्ट्रीय प्रथा है, सामूहिकता प्रथा, ये बंजारा लोगों में हमें देखने को मिलता है। इसीलिए ऐसा जो उत्कृष्ट कल्चर बंजारों में हमें देखने को मिलता है। लेकिन आज जो ग्लोबलाइजेशन, मॉडर्नाइजेशन, एजुकेशन, इसके और जो मास मीडिया, इसी के मुताबिक उसका जो प्रभाव है वो कम होते जा रहा है। इस संदर्भ में हमें जो आइडेंटिटी है उसके बचाना, उसे आगे ले जाना, और हमें हमारा भाषा को 8th शेड्यूल में डालने का, हमारा वेशभूषण, ये सब जो है, जो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय ख्याति हमारे भाइयों का वेशभूषण है, उसको बचाने का, बढ़ाने का, इसके बारे में हमें सोचने का, सुझाव देने का बहुत आवश्यकता है। इस तरह से मैं अनुरोध करता हूं कि हमारे जो भाई हैं, जो विद्वान लोग हैं, वो इस तरह से यहाँ पे चर्चा किए, वो फ्रूटफुल होता है। इसीलिए दो बात करने के लिए जो मुझे अवकाश आज रमेश आर्य जी और हमारे सचिव उप सचिव जी दिए हैं, उन सबको मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ। सबको राम राम, जय सेवालाल, जय मरियम।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद महोदय। इस सभागार में उपस्थित विद्वत गणों की ध्यान में एक बात मैं लाना चाहता हूं कि साहित्य अकादमी आप सभी को पता है कि साहित्य अकादमी 24 भाषाओं में हर साल विविध पुरस्कार देते रहते हैं। इसी के अलावा सन 1996 से लेकर जो गैर कानूनी भाषाओं में भाषा सम्मान देना शुरू किया है, और खासकर जो 2010 से लेकर भाषा सम्मान जो सरकार से मान्यता जो भाषा ये जो प्राप्त नहीं हो पाया, उन भाषा में भी भाषा सम्मान देना शुरू किया है। और जैसे सचिव महोदय ने शायद आपको ध्यान में लाया हुआ है कि 2022 में हम लोग पहली बार बंजारा भाषा में भी भाषा सम्मान दिया हुआ है। और इस 2 दिवसीय बंजारा भाषा सम्मेलन में आयोजन करने में से हमको बहुत सहायता और विविध रूप में किया हुआ है, और जिसके लिए हम लोग बहुत आभारी है डॉक्टर रामचंद्र रमेश आर्य जी, जो आज का दिन में भारत सरकार की संस्कृत मंत्रालय में राजभाषा के निदेशक रूप में विराजमान है। मैं अब आपको आमंत्रण करना चाहता हूं और अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं कि आप अपनी विशिष्ट अतिथि वक्तव्य प्रस्तुत करें।
धन्यवाद। आदरणीय सभाध्यक्ष शिवा रेड्डी साहब, साहित्य अकादमी के सचिव श्रीनिवास जी और इस मंच पर विराजमान धन सिंह डी नायक जी, जो भूतपूर्व उपकुलपति जानपत विश्वविद्यालय के हैं, और मंच पर आसीन सुरेश बाबू गारू, और इस सभा कक्ष में उपस्थित प्रोफेसर एसोसिएशन के संस्थापक रामा नायक, बंजारा कर्मचारी सेवा संस्था अखिल भारत स्तर के उनके भी अध्यक्ष उपस्थित हैं मोहन चौहान जी, ऑल इंडिया बंजारा सेवा संघ के अध्यक्ष तिलावत जी, और साथ ही साथ आज के इन 2 दिनों के जो कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित हुए विद्वानगण, जिनमें हमारे प्रमुख खांडोबा जी, सूरत वड़तिया जी, बी विजया जी, रामकोटी जी, सूर्य धनंजय जी, शांता नायक जी और हरिलाल पवार और अन्य विद्वानगण, और इस सभा कक्ष में उपस्थित मातृशक्ति, आप सबको राम राम नमस्कार। बंजारा समाज में, बंजारा भाषा में, चाहे भारत की अन्य भाषाओं में भी हमने राम राम को नमस्कार के तुल्य माना है। यहाँ किसी विशेष देवता राम की आराधना करने की बात नहीं है, परंतु राम राम में वह शब्द विराजमान है जिसमें हम लोग किसी के प्रति नतमस्तक होते हैं, तो इसे नमस्कार के माध्यम से स्वीकार करते हैं, जो अन्य भारतीय भाषाओं में भी इसका प्रचलन है। इसलिए आप सबको मेरा नमस्कार। आदरणीय हमारे सचिव महोदय ने भाषा के संबंध में विस्तार से कुछ और कहने के लिए मुझे नहीं छोड़ा। उन्होंने उच्चारण से लेकर किस प्रकार से भाषा का विकास होता है और किस प्रकार से भाषाएं उद्भव होती हैं, उसका उद्भव होता है, इन सब पर काफ़ी गंभीरता से विस्तार पूर्वक उन्होंने अवगत कराया। साथ ही साथ हमारे डी विनायक जी ने भी बीज वक्तव्य में के अलावा उन्होंने अपनी उन सारी बातों को अपने मन में जो थी वह भी आपके सम्मुख प्रस्तुत कर दी। और हम बंजारे इस बात को भलीभांति जानते हैं कि हमें अलग अलग राज्यों में, अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में अलग अलग नामों से जाने जाते हैं, लोग जानते भी हैं, और हमने उसे स्वीकार भी किया है। उन नामों का मैं पुनः आपके साथ चर्चा नहीं करूंगा, क्योंकि आप सब ने, हमारे सचिव महोदय ने जो बताया उसको आपने सुन चुके हैं। इस प्रकार से देश में 44 नाम, लगभग 44 नाम ऐसे पाए जाते हैं जिनमें बंजारा समाज से संबंधित है। आप सब हम जानते हैं कि मानव का इतिहास इतना आसान नहीं है कि मानव कहाँ पैदा हुआ था और आज कहाँ बैठा है और किस ग्रह पर जाने वाला है। इसके संभावित प्रश्न बहुत हमारे सामने सम्मुख उठते हैं। बंजारा समाज एक ऐसा समाज है जो सर्वधर्म समभाव की भावना और वासुदेव कुटुंबकम की भावना को लेकर चलता है। इससे बड़ी फिलॉसफी हमारे देश में और कोई नहीं हो सकती, जिसमें हमारे पुरातन ग्रंथों में भी सर्वधर्म समभाव और वासुदेव कुटुंबकम की बात को बताती है। वो सारा साहित्य हमें उसका विवरण भी देता है, किस प्रकार से हमारा जीवन यापन इस देश में होता है। बंजारा समाज का उद्भव, विकास की बात तो हम कह सकते हैं, लेकिन कहाँ पैदा हुआ, कहाँ से प्रारंभ हुआ, ये एक बहुत बड़े इतिहास की बात है। लेकिन 7वीं शताब्दी के संस्कृत साहित्य में 10 कुमार चरितम में दांडी जी ने, उस विद्वान ने लिखा है कि हम लोगों का उस वक्त भी वाणिज्य, जो अनाज के सप्लाई करने में एक स्थान से दूसरे स्थान पर ले जाने वाला, उस वक्त भी एक समुदाय था। तो शायद वही बंजारा समाज के बारे में जिक्र होगा, जिसे हम आज बंजारा कहते हैं, जो वाणिज्य से बणजारा और कई वन से कई कुछ इस तरह की परिभाषाएं हमारे सामने आती हैं, परंतु अधिकतर विद्वानों ने वाणिज्य, अनाज का सप्लाई लदेणी के माध्यम से किया करता था, इसीलिए उन्होंने वाणिज्यकार और बणजारों शब्द का उन्होंने यह सार्थक शब्द हमें दिया, और अधिकतर साहित्यकार और समाज में लोग हमें बंजारा के नाम से जानते हैं। यह इतना आसान विषय भी नहीं है कि हम कहाँ से थे और कहाँ है, परंतु वर्तमान में हम इस भारत में ही नहीं, विश्व के कई देशों में है, और विशेषकर भारत में हमारी जनसंख्या अधिक है और हम सभी राज्यों के निवासी हैं, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं। और हमारी एक बात याद रखना, हम वासुदेव कुटुंबकम की जब बात करते हैं, वो भावना हमारे में है, और हमारी 2 मातृभाषाएं हैं। मैं तेलुगु लंबाड़ी बंजारा हूं, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं। अध्यक्ष महोदय यहां पर बैठे कर्नाटक से हैं, कर्नाटक के बंजारे, यहां बैठे महाराष्ट्र से हैं, मराठी बंजारे, जितने भी, क्योंकि समय के अंतराल में जब इसमें बदलाव आता है तो व्यक्ति धर्म को बदलता है, अपनाता है, विभिन्न पंथों में जाता है और उसकी पहचान बनती है और उसे स्वीकार करता है सहजता से, और बाद में वह बताता है कि आप कहाँ से हैं, मैं तेलंगाना से हूँ, आप कहाँ से, मैं भारत से हूँ, आप किस धर्म से, मैं हिंदू से हूँ, आप किस से, मैं क्रिश्चियन से हूँ, मैं इस्लाम से हूँ, मैं किसी और धर्म से हूँ। इस प्रकार से वो अपने आप को, अपनी पहचान बताने की कोशिश करता है। और बंजारा समाज एक ऐसा समाज है जो प्रारंभ से ही विभिन्न धर्मों, जो सर्वधर्म समभाव की जो बात है, तो विभिन्न धर्मों को उन्होंने अपनाया है, और विभिन्न देवी देवता, अपने देवी देवता मूल रूप से बंजारों के माँ और बाप, डोकरी डोकरा तल्ली तंडुले, यानी माँ और बाप को ही उन्होंने गॉड और गॉडेसेस माना है। यही हमारी संस्कृति है, माँ और बाप को। और हमारे जब विवाह होता है उस वक्त हम किसी पौराणिक देवता या किसी अन्य देवता की पूजा नहीं करते। हम लोग अपनी डोकरी डोकरा, जो हमारे दादा माता पिता, दादा दादी जिन्होंने देहांत हो गया, और उसके बाद फिर हम उन्हें गॉड और गॉडेसेस यानी देवी और देवता के रूप में हम उसे स्वीकार करते हैं, उसकी पूजा करते हैं, और यही परंपरा आज भी है। तो ये देखिए कितनी बड़ी बात है कि माँ बाप को हमने किसी भगवान को देखा नहीं देखा, ये बहुत सारी बातें हैं, उस पर हम नहीं जाएंगे, परंतु माँ बाप ने हमने जन्म दिया है और हमें उन्हें स्वीकार करना है और हम स्वीकार करते हैं और उनकी पूजा पाठ करते हैं। उसके पश्चात फिर हम जिस क्षेत्र में बसे हैं उन क्षेत्रों में वहां के देवी देवताओं को हमने सहर्ष स्वीकार किया है। इसलिए अधिकतर पौराणिक देवता हमारे सारे समाज के लोग मानते हैं उन्हें और पूजते भी हैं। ये कितनी बड़ी बात है। और दूसरा, भारत में किसी भी राज्य में बंजारा समाज का किसी भी जाति या भाषा या समुदाय से कोई टकराव नहीं है। और ये कितनी बड़ी बात है, कितने सौहार्द भाव से हमने अपनी दो मातृभाषाएं, उदाहरण के लिए मैं तेलुगु लंबाड़ी तमिल बंजारा हूं, मैंने इसे स्वीकार किया है। और आप भी, डीवी नायक जी यहाँ बैठे हैं, कर्नाटक से हैं, कन्नड़ा बंजारा हैं, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं। मोहन चौहान जी बैठे हैं, मराठी बंजारा हैं, गणपत राठौड़ बैठे हैं, और अन्य साथी जो उत्तर से भी आए हैं, गुजरात से, राजस्थान से, वे भी अपने अपनी मातृभूमि से जुड़े हुए हैं। वे उनकी दो मातृभाषा, हमारी दो मातृभाषा, एक यशोदा और एक देवकी। तो ये हमारे में भावना है। और मैं चाहूंगा हमारे सारे विद्वानों से कि वे अपना साहित्य अपने राज्य की भाषा में लिखें, लिख रहे हैं और लिखें, उससे समृद्ध करें। साथ साथ वो अपनी बोली भाषा का भी विकास करने का जो बेड़ा उठाया है उसे भी पूरा करे, जिससे कि हमारी बंजारा भाषा को संरक्षित करने में आसान होगा, सहज होगा और इसका संरक्षण आवश्यक है। और भारत सरकार ने भी, संविधान ने भी, मुख्य रूप से संविधान का उद्देश्य यही है कि भारत की धरोहर कहलाने वाली जो भाषाएं, उनको संरक्षित करना, उसे पूर्ण अधिकार देना, ये सारी बातें संविधान में लिखी गई, जिसके अंतर्गत साहित्य अकादमी लगातार पिछले कई दशकों से कार्यरत हैं। और आज भी वो इतने बड़े पैमाने पर विशेषकर जनजाति भाषाओं को लेकर अपना कार्य प्रारंभ किया है, जो निरंतर चल रहा है। और बंजारा भाषा को आदिवासी कवियों का सम्मेलन में, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन भी देश में आयोजित किया, देश के स्तर पर, जिसमें लगभग 75 कवियों का कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया, जिसमें भी बंजारा भाषा को शामिल किया। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर शिमला में आयोजित उस कार्यक्रम में भी बंजारा भाषा को शामिल किया। ये हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है। और इसके लिए विशेषकर साहित्य अकादमी को मेरा निजी तौर पर भी और आप सबकी तरफ से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इतना ही नहीं, कहने को बहुत कुछ है, मैं अंत में मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं लूँगा क्योंकि समय कम है और हमारे आगे कार्यक्रम भी है। लेकिन एक बात हमें याद रखना है, डॉक्टर सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्णन, हम सब जानते हैं, जो हमारे द्वितीय, हमारे जो दूसरे राष्ट्रपति रहे, जिसका हम लोग गुरु के रूप में हम पूजते हैं और टीचर्स डे भी हम लोग मनाते हैं। उन्होंने एक ही कहा, बहुत बड़े फिलोसोफर थे, उन्होंने कहा भाषा मात्र कोई शब्द नहीं, यह संस्कृति का पर्याय है। यदि आपने भाषा को संरक्षित कर लिया, बचा लिया, तो फिर आपकी संस्कृति बच गई। यदि आपने भाषा को समाप्त कर दिया तो फिर वो दूर दूर नहीं कि हम अंग्रेज बन जाएंगे, और इसके अलावा और कुछ नहीं, यानी कोई न कोई रूप हमारा बदल जाएगा। इसलिए आपको अपने रूप को संरक्षित करने के लिए बंजारा भाषा में लिखें। बंजारा किसी भी लिपि में आप लिख सकते हैं, सहजता से उसमें लिखें। और कोशिश ये भी करें कि आपका साहित्य हिंदी, अंग्रेजी और अन्य भारतीय भाषाओं में भी अनुवाद हो, और देवनागरी के माध्यम से हम पूरे भारत के बंजारों को जोड़ सकते हैं। इसलिए मैं चाहूँगा कि आप लोग इसमें प्रयास निरंतर करते रहें और हम आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे। बाकी बहुत सारी बातें अपने विद्वानों पर छोड़ता हूँ, जो विस्तार से अपने अपने विषय के अनुसार वे चर्चा करेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और साहित्य अकादमी को पुनः धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद महोदय। आपने अपनी भाषण में खासकर बंजारा संस्कृति और उसके विकास के लिए जो करना है उनके ऊपर आपने जिक्र किया, जिसके लिए हम लोग बहुत आभारी हैं. Now may I request Sri Kolli Sivareddy Garu, who hails from Kavumuri Varipalayam of Andhra Pradesh, has a Bachelor of Arts from Andhra University, knows Telugu and English languages. He retired as a principal and has been writing since his school days. His first anthology of Telugu poetry has published way back in 1973. So far, he penned more than 20 anthologies of poetry and a book on Kannada Vachanas. Even he translated South African, European and Latin American poems into Telugu language. He is a recipient of Sahitya Academy Award, Kabir Samman, Gangadhar National Award, Free Verse Front Award, among many others. So may I request Sri K. Sivareddy Garu to deliver his presidential address of this today's inaugural session.
మీ అందరికీ నమస్కారాలు. ఈ సభలో ఉన్న పెద్దలకి, కవులకి, మేధావులకి, ఓర్పుగా మీరు వింటున్నారు ఇదంతా. మీ అందరికీ నమస్కారాలు. వేదిక మీద ఉన్న సాహిత్య అకాడమీ సెక్రటరీ శ్రీనివాసరావు గారికి, ఆర్య గారికి, వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ గారికి, వీళ్ళందరికీ ఎంతమంది పెద్దల ముందు 4 మాటలు మాట్లాడాలి. Not much time is left. What is discipline? Just observing the time. We are lagging behind. It is 12:30 now. This session should have been over by 12 o'clock. Now it is 12:30. So it's my duty to save some time. 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 minutes only. What are you? If somebody puts, who are you? I am Sivareddy. He said I was hailing from Tenali, but I was staying here since 1966 onwards. Sometimes I doubt myself whether I am Andhra or Telangana. I was there only 23 years there, completed my PG from Andhra University, and then from 66 onwards I was working in Vivekavardhini College, oldest, 100 years old. Sometimes Telangana people think that I am Andhra, Andhra people think that I am Telangana. I am the loser actually speaking, but I don't, the time, the place never binds me. As someone said, Telangana Banjara, Karnataka Banjara, Maharashtra Banjara. He said 2 languages. He said 2 mothers, Telugu and Banjara. Similarly, I have 2 mothers, Andhra and Telangana. You are many, I am telling you. No one is single. You are many. Wherever you are bounded to that place. Place is more important. When I was in 6th class or 7th class, I was walking from my village to the school. I have to cross 1 or 2 villages to walk go to my school. I used to see a Lambada old couple. By that time he must be 70 and she must be 65. They used to sell salt, exchanging the broken rice, and they used to eat some roti this much length made. Still I remember that couple now. When I think someone said in Banjara, father and mother gods, they are divine people. I feel That old couple, when I saw them in my early, when I was only 12 or 13, they are gods. They are divine people. Whoever dedicated to that place or to that language, it is mother. So, remembering your mother means your language. Where are you? I am in my language. I am in my culture. What is essence? Essence is nothing but to be conscious of your language, conscious of your mother, conscious of your surroundings. Culture is not a monolithic, it's not one, it is many. So, Banjara people, maybe some 22 crores all over the world, they are spreading, not only in India, outside also they are there. Now they are conscious of their language, conscious of their literature, conscious of traditions and customs. I look at them. I was told when I was a boy, I don't know whether it is true or false. If woman doesn't know how to stitch this dress, I don't know. They select that woman who are able to skillful in designing and stitching the dress. In olden days, now I don't know. Things are changing, but the culture is there, Culture is of many things. Now you are very conscious of your literature, conscious of your place, conscious of your dress. That's why even 2022 we are. Now you are very conscious of your existence and essence. Where are you? You are in your language, you are in your place, you are in your literature, you are in your culture, the tradition they have. I have seen at Koti, the Andhra Bank, the tribal people, they are also tribal, I feel. They sell beads, combs and all those things, In 1922 also, they wear half skirt and they sell the combs and all those things. I wonder, why don't they change, though they are sitting in Hyderabad, because they feel they are proud of their dress, they are proud of their customs. To be conscious of yourself means that you are conscious of your dress, thus you are conscious of your traditions, your customs, perhaps everything, That is the human essence. I am very happy. Sahitya Academy, Srinivasarao, I think this is the second time that you are having this Banjara convention, language convention. I am lucky to be here. You see all of you here, wonderful thing, We are coming together. Coming together is nothing but wonderful culture. That is a unity. India is nothing but unity in diversity. We are celebrating 75th Independence Day, That's why be conscious. Who are you? I am a human being. To be human is very important. We have to tell your children, we have to tell your students also, be human. To be human is the greatest thing in life. I imbibed it from that old couple I told you when I saw them when I was in high school, I am very happy. I have to save time, It is 12:30. Second session should have been started by this time. Thank you for all of you. Thank you, sir.
మీ సమయ పాలనకు ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేస్తూ తెలుగులో అన్నట్లు సంప్రదాయం నిలిచే ఉంటుంది హమేషా, అది జాతికి జీవనాళిక, జానపద గీతిక అంటారు. So the culture always remains as long as we are conscious of it. So thank you very much, Sri Sivareddy garu, for delivering your presidential address of this today's Banjara language convention. So I'll be failing my duty if I don't thank all the dignitaries of the day for taking the pains to attend this program. Just for your kind knowledge, our secretary sir, in spite of all his hectic schedule, he could made it possible. So thank you very much, sir, for devoting your time in spite of your hectic schedule. I sincerely thank Dr. Ramachandra Ramesh Arya ji for taking pains to come over here all the way from Delhi to Hyderabad, and in spite of the parliament committees that he is supposed to attend at this juncture. So thank you so much for cancelling all your hectic schedules and pre-planned for the sake of your mother tongue and mother culture. And I sincerely thank Professor D.B. Naik ji, former Vice Chancellor of Karnataka Janapada University, for coming over here and delivering keynote address on this historical event, sir. And my sincere thanks goes to Sri K. Sivareddy Garu. Sir, kindly forgive me for giving trouble for coming over to the second floor, as there was a little bit of problem with regard to the lift. So thank you so much, sir, for coming over here and delivering a beautiful lecture. And yeah, sir, Ramesh Aryaji, you would like to. So Ramesh Aryaji would like to present a souvenir that has brought upon the Banjara culture and language. No. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Ramesh Aryaji, for bringing a beautiful book. Now, with this, the inaugural session has come to end. Since we are already running short of time, we shall start the first session under the chairmanship of Professor P.K. Khandobaji. Sir is here, I think, if I am not wrong. Sir, kindly come over here. May I request all the dignitaries of the dais to kindly join the audience so that we may be able to start the first session. कोई बात कर ली नहीं आइए कोई बात नहीं आप खड़े रहिए So, thank you very much, sir. Now the first session begins. The theme of the first session is Origin and Evolution of Banjara Culture and Language. This session is going to be chaired by Professor P.K. Khandobaji, a great scholar of many languages. So may I request you, sir, kindly come and occupy the seat in the dais. And in this session we have three technical papers. First it is Professor B. Vijaya Garu, who is going to present a paper on history of Banjara language and its dialects. Ma'am, may I request you kindly come over the dais and occupy the seat. Next is it follows by Dr. V. Raju Naik, who is working presently in English and Foreign Languages University. Kindly come over here and occupy the seat in the dais. And the third paper, Dr. M. Vandana Roshni, are you here? Dr. Vandana Roshni ji, kindly come over here. Just with the permission of the chair, I would like to introduce the chair to the August gathering. Dr. P.K. Kandobaji is currently working as a professor at the Institute of Karnataka Studies, Gulbarga University. Dr. Kandobaji has published around 20 books and edited 24 books besides research papers included in various books and journals. He is a known scholar of folklore, tribal culture and visual arts, traveled widely in and out of the country. He is a well-decorated scholar with awards from Government of Karnataka and many other learned institutions. So, may I request you, sir, kindly take up the proceedings. Kindly.
आपने से राम रमे करते हो फर्स्ट सेशन चलाले जवाबदारी मारू पर बंजारा लैंग्वेज कन्वेंशन सहजती में गौरवमय कन्वेंशन चलाले आर्चकन मन अनुसरी सर इस सेशन में 3 लोग पेपर प्रेजेंट करे वहाँ सर प्रोफेसर बी विजया, डॉक्टर राजू नायक एंड डॉक्टर एम वंदना रश्मि. ये तीन न तमसेर वतीति माँ इन्वाइट करते हो. प्रोफेसर बी विजया हिस्ट्री ऑफ बंजारा लैंग्वेज एंड इट्स डायलेक्ट पे ऊपर बातें करने वाला था. वैसे वो कुछ लैंग्वेज में ओके वो इंग्लिश में डेलिब्रेशन कर रहा था. डॉक्टर बी विजया इज ए प्रोफेसर इन द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इंग्लिश उस्मानिया यूनिवर्सिटी. She has 2 books to his credit and about 1 dozen of her research articles have been included in different publications. She has delivered lectures and given presentation in numerous national and international seminars. She was on the editorial board of Osmania Journal of English Studies for 2017 issue. Currently, she is serving Osmania University as a director of UGC, HRDC, academic staff college, besides her regular teaching. Madam, आप प्रेजेंटेशन कर सकते हैं.
Respected organizers of this Banjara language convention and the chair of this morning session, Professor Khandoba, and my dear co-participants, the paper presenters, senior professors who are present here, big people who are part of policy makers and policy deciding bodies, and dear participants from different parts of India. The title of my paper is History of Banjara Language and its Dialects. I am Professor B. Vijaya from Department of English, Osmania University. If there was PPT, it would have been very easy for me to complete whatever I thought to present in 15 minutes. However, I'll just try to skip few of the slides and do whatever. I'll try to just concentrate on the abstract and then the suggestions that I thought that I would give to this audience as part of my session. I'm just trying to read the abstract of my presentation. The abstract is, it's just 1-page abstract, and afterwards I will not go into the details of the paper, and then I will move on to the suggestions that I want to give, because 3 of us need to present before the pre-lunch session. I'll restrict myself with abstract, and in any case, any discussion on whatever points I have spoken, I can after the papers are presented. Language is a human communication. Languages are internal. India is a country of many languages. Regarding the number of languages spoken in India, there is a considerable uncertainty as organizations such as Census of India, Anthropological Survey put different numbers. Linguists who are involved in the field work estimate around 200 languages, out of which 80% of the languages are spoken by the tribal communities across the country. The Constitution of India, in its 8th schedule, has accorded recognition of 22 languages. The rest of about 180 languages have no mention, though Sahitya Academy recognizes 24 languages, in which very recently Rajasthani and English were recognized. This paper attempts to survey the history of Banjara language and its dialects with the help of the documents available and primary researches conducted through fieldwork. Further, for the pragmatic use of Banjara language in its social context, with the thought and encouragement of our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, there is a very innovative initiative taken up by the government of Telangana, Is it working? It's not working. I won't. So this is a very innovative initiative taken up by the government of Telangana under the Department of Tribal Research and Training Center for the production and implementation of 2 Banjara primers in 1,426 primary tribal schools in Telugu, that is regional language, with Banjara as a mother tongue in 2018 itself, before the policy documentation of NEP 2020, which focuses on the promotion of mother tongues. And these are the books that I have taken from the Tribal Research Center that is available in Telangana. These are the 2 primers. This particular paper also throws light on the role of Bureau of Indian Education and the Bureau of Indian Affairs, which is situated in USA, that provides quality education opportunities from early childhood through life in accordance with a tribe's need for cultural and economic well-being. Board of Indian Education established many tribally operated schools for Indian students, and in 2009 funding was given to 26 tribal colleges and universities. There is a need for more research centers of Banjara language and literature in Telangana, especially at universities. Earlier research centers and Bhasha Foundation centers that are seen as claims for tribal narratives is not from the insider's point of view. For instance, G.N. Devi, who is seen as a very iconic personality, who is taken as a godfather for tribal narratives in terms of tribal researchers, who is also the founder of Bhasha Research Foundation at Baroda. For instance, G.N. Devi's understanding and representation of tribe is hegemonic. His notion of tribe is quite redundant in Indian context, as there is a tendency of romanticization and mystification. This paper also sensitizes the aspect of adopting either Devanagari script or a Roman script for further promotion of the Banjara language and literature, and more specifically to accord recognition in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. This paper concludes with few sincere suggestions that emerged from the fieldwork experience of the native speaker like me under RUSA 2.0 project at Osmania University. I'll just go to the details of the paper with the permission of the chair. for 5 minutes and I will conclude the suggestions. To go into the details of the paper, the South Asian subcontinent is the homeland of speakers belonging to at least 4 distinct language families. 1. Dravidian. 2. Austroasiatic. 3. Indo-Iranian. Now no more we call it as Indo-Aryan because of its, after World War II, Indo-Iranian is a term that is in vogue because of its racist notions. Number 4. Tibeto-Burman. Regarding the number of languages that are spoken, as I already told you, there is no uncertainty as per the surveys that are present, and we already know that it was in 2011 that census report was prevalent, and after that we don't have any census report, and as far as the number goes, I'm not sure what is the number, and only 2011 number it is there in my paper, and as far as my knowledge goes with the researches that are available, I think the population is, as sir said, 12 crores one sir and 10 crores one sir. So the number increases, but overall we can say that it is equal to one state's population. All Banjara speakers put together in entire India might comprise of one state's population like Telangana state. And for that, I think it is necessary for us to look into the accord of permission in the scheduled languages of India. And I have the table here. I don't know how I have to show that table. And the table is, as I told you, we have 4 languages and tribal languages, non-tribal languages and total. And the total is 210 languages as far as the linguist survey on the field work. And among the tribal languages of the Dravidian group, we have 24 tribal languages and 6 non-tribal languages. So altogether we have 30. Among Austroasiatic, you have 20 tribal languages, no non-tribal languages, and total is 20. Among the Indo-Iranian languages, we have 20 tribal languages and 30 non-tribal languages, and total is 50. Among the Tibeto-Burman languages, we have 99 tribal languages, 1 non-tribal language, and total is 100. And other languages can be clubbed under 10. So overall total is approximately 210. So from these perspectives, if we take into the perspective of sociolinguistics, the languages of India can be classified into different binaries. Number 1, literary or non-literary, written and oral, major and minor, developed and underdeveloped, scheduled and unscheduled, used in wider domains, limited domains of use, sustained languages and endangered languages, non-tribal and tribal languages. In all the above binaries that I have mentioned now, tribal languages are always relegated to the disadvantaged position. One of the problems encountered in the enumeration of the tribal and minor languages is that of a confusion between language and community on one hand and language and dialect on the other hand. Hence, though both anthropologists and linguists have been involved in studying the tribal populations, there are still many gray areas where the information is lacking. And there are again tables, so I can't help. And as the keynote speaker this morning, D.B. Nayak sir, I saw your book with very good images as part of my research, and the information that you gave as a keynote speaker here also speaks about the commitment that you have for the community. And I also see, and from that particular, and from the keynote speaker's address itself, we know how many languages are there in terms of tribal languages and how names are replicated. For example, sir said in his keynote address 27 names for Banjaras, and this is a unique thing that we have to think about as a community, though placed at different places in India. So Banjaras are known by several names such as Lamani, Lambhani, Lambadi, Sugali, etc. And their inhabitants are generally called as Thandas. And this is the information that people prefer to call themselves as Banjara, Gormati or Gorwat is an information that I could get from People's Linguistic Survey of India, where Professor G.N. Devi is the chief editor of all the 50 volumes that have come in terms of People's Linguistic Survey of India. Not the Linguistic Survey of the Government of India, but this is an independent research center And GNDV, he has a separate website altogether that talks about his contribution to his language, especially different tribal languages in India. And he was recognized by Sahitya Academy and honored a Sahitya Academy award for his work for tribes and tribal languages especially. And I appreciate his documentation of tribal languages and literatures that are seen, and especially about the languages, which has come into 50 volumes very recently. In that there are 2 volumes, languages of Telangana and languages of Andhra Pradesh, where there is a chief editor again G.N. Devi and editors from the Department of Linguistics, I think Professor Usha Devi from Osmania University, and the same slim chapter is also replicated in the another volume of languages of Andhra Pradesh under People's Linguistic of Survey of India. When we say People's Linguistic Survey of India, we don't have any authentication of the policies, where Government of India, when we say the strength of India, we go into the record of Census of India report. Based on that only government takes any decision. If you want accord permission as into the scheduled languages of India, it is a government report that should stand. And anyway, I appreciate all the concerns of people who are working in this area, but it would be good if native speakers are involved in such big projects, so that they will contribute in a very compassionate way, because they are from the same community. I admire people are involved, those who know the language, but if academicians are involved, because academicians are always into that particular field. So the more research is taking place, people of native speakers must be involved to give very valid suggestions for whatever researches are there until now in terms of Banjaras. And I'm not going to go into the details of the etymological sense of the word Banjara and all those things, which I'm going to skip, because we got enough from the keynote address. And okay, this is from 1961 census. Again, Banjara speakers as per 2011 census is 1581 271 Banjara speakers. It's almost in lakhs, and it is very illogical also to even dream that they are in lakhs when the number is in crores. And if the policy says that if there are 10,000, if there are more than 10,000 speakers, and that must be accorded, as our guest of honor, sir, the director of Rajbhasha already told, that if there are 10,000 speakers, that language must be recognized. That is a policy decision. So we don't have clear guidelines. What are the reasons for making language a scheduled language? Reason set is 10,000 plus speakers. If that is the case, Banjara should have been included long back among the scheduled languages of India. And I am also aware of how India is a linguistically divided country. We have separate language and a state. Gujarati, Gujarat, Tamil, Tamil Nadu, Telugu, Telangana. But in spite of that, tribes must not be imposed of a regional language. For example, I am in Telangana and my mother tongue is Banjara, so I must not be compelled to learn Telugu. I am happy the Government of India with its NEP 2020 in its own, in chapter, I think page number 100, it's a 62-page document in which one particular chapter completely talks about multilingualism and mother tongue, the importance of mother tongue. The idea is very good. Promoting mother tongue is a very important and very good idea. But in terms of practice, this is the first conference I am attending in terms of Banjara Language Convention, because I got the first invitation from Sahitya Academy, and hence I thought I must not miss this opportunity to convey my concerns of the community, and hence I am here. So if we say that NEP document is important in terms of mother tongue, then Banjara language must be promoted. And if we are telling that we have to promote mother tongue, then what is the process? Will the government impose me? For example, if I am in Telangana, that government of Telangana will tell me to learn only Telugu. If I have to fill up the application of my school entry level, there is a column for mother tongue. So I have to fill up as Telugu only. I cannot fill up as Lambadi. If I fill up as Lambadi, there is no medium of instruction of Lambadi. So all this confusion, idea is very good of promoting mother tongue, but how that idea is implemented is a major concern of the entire community of the Banjara community. So as I already told you, Banjara language doesn't have a script. Banjara language belongs to the central group of Indo-Iranian family, and of course the population is already discussed. So I'll just skip to the last slide. There are many examples which talk about the language, variants and dialects. That I thought I can show it on the slide, but I'll restrict for myself at this particular platform, and all those who can interact, I can share with them. And in terms of literature that is available, if any researcher takes up the task of enumerating Banjara speakers in the country, it would be equal to our state's population. Hence, there is an earnest request through documentary evidence to accord recognition in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Conferences like this must come up with the resolutions of bringing a change and contribute in the policy decision. With great respect to the organizers of this conference, there is also a humble submission to recognize Banjara language in the list of Sahitya Academy as early as possible until policy decision takes place. However, a parameter of recognition, for the parameter of the recognition, there is a need for a script. It is also understood through the scheduled sessions, there are a galaxy of intellectuals who are present here in Banjara language and literature. Few have worked and many are still working with lot of enthusiasm. But as far as research is available and the deliberations discussed at various academic platforms, it is the right time to adopt a script to schedule Banjara language in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Hence, this paper sensitizes the aspect of adopting either Devanagari script or a Roman script for further promotion of the language and literature. As Venkat Rao, a social scientist, in his article Language Politics in India observes, I quote, there are 3 official languages, French, Italian, German. In Canada, there are 2 official languages, French and English. Britain has 3 languages, that is English, Welsh and Gaelic. Similarly, there are more than 1 language in France, Spain, USSR, China, Mexico, and in the states of Central South America, South Africa, Czechoslovakia, Belgium, and Afghanistan. Roman script may be adopted. This suggestion is as old as Sir William Jones. That eminent Orientalist advocated the Roman script with necessary diacritical marks. The Orientalists that assembled in Geneva in 1887 recommended the adoption of the Roman script for all Indian languages. Suniti Kumar Chatterjee also argued in favor of Roman script. All of them point out that the uniform division of the syllables into vowels and consonants made the Roman script more convenient than the syllabic scripts used in most of the Asiatic languages. Of the two, Devanagari and Roman script, the later, that is Roman script, has a better claim for obvious reasons. Number 1, Turkey has abandoned the Perso-Arabic script. Persian music is written in Roman script. The languages of Africa have adopted Roman script. The Turkey and other languages have finally abandoned the Perso-Arabic script. Most of the publications of the Western scholars in Indian languages are in Roman script. Radhakrishnan's Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads are in Roman script. The Roman script is being used by most of the tribal languages in Assam. It is also used in different countries and most of the African nations. It is also interesting to note that the literature of the Defense Department of the Government of India is printed in Roman script, though Hindi is the language. It must now be evident that Roman script is becoming universal. And some of the advantages of the Roman script are, number 1, it is simple, it is convenient for typing and printing, and the time taken to type a letter in Roman script is much lesser than the Devanagari script. Second, it facilitates the borrowing of new words from all the languages, both Indian and foreign. Third, if the three-language formula, which is the best for the country, is adopted, it is very convenient for the students. Under the three-language formula, every student will have to learn three languages: the language of the union, the regional language, and an international language. Fourth, he who wants to read and understand not only Indian languages, but also foreign languages is enabled to do that. Fifth, Roman alphabet contains only 26 letters and they can be joined very easily to facilitate easy writing by putting few dots and dashes below and above. Sixth, it can liquidate illiteracy within the shortest time possible. Finally, vowels and consonants have equal footing. Whatever defects it has, they may be rectified by Indianization. Many official discussions took place at various official forums to adopt Devanagari script for the Banjara language, and hence the inclusion of Banjara language in the 8th schedule is still pending in the Ministry of Home Affairs through Lok Sabha question number 220 that is answered on 27th of February 2007. The Sitakant Mohapatra Committee, which was set up to evolve a set of objective criteria for the inclusion of Banjara and other languages in the 8th schedule, had submitted the report indicating the criteria to be adopted for the inclusion of Banjara language in the 8th schedule. The committee was under consideration in consultation with the concerned minorities department of the central government, and a decision was pending for the inclusion of languages in the 8th schedule that will be taken at inter alia in the light of the recommendations of the committee. However, no time frame was fixed for consideration of the demands for the inclusion of Banjara and other languages in the schedule. And the details of the same are in the appendices of my research. And I'm concluding by the suggestions that I thought are very important. The first suggestion is Banjara documentation. Basic and original research of Banjara language must be done in recording, that is, from words to paragraphs to the text. Number two, Banjara descriptive grammar must be evolved, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics and pragmatics of Banjara language. And in this aspect, little work is already done, and I thank Ronald Trail's work in terms of Banjara descriptive grammar, which is available. And at Osmania University also we have done a little work through Department of English and Department of Linguistics under RUSA 2.2 project and Department of Telugu. And three, preparation of bilingual, trilingual, multilingual Banjara dictionaries are to be developed, and one is done at Osmania University with the help of Professor Surya Dhananjay as the principal investigator and myself as the co-investigator at Osmania University, and from the Department of Marathi and Hindi from Osmania University. Banjara translations are to be done on priority basis. Banjara material production must be done in collaboration with the educationists and psychologists like Banjara primers that I have shown just now, to start with transliteration at present with different languages in different states. And Banjara native speakers must be involved in the production of these workbooks, especially where more speakers are available. Banjara language training and linguistic training center must be adopted with time-bound training with goal-oriented work with the help of the Banjara literate intellectuals. Government financial support is also essential for Tanda level organizations with strict guidelines, time frame and close monitoring. And thank you very much for your patient listening.
Thank you, Professor Vijay. It's out of my question. Are you a Banjara? Okay, thank you. So, आज presentation की दी सर विजया प्रोफेसर कोई क्वेश्चंस रहो तो यदि क्वेश्चंस रहो तो डिस्कशन कर सको तो no it's just mic is there.
हेलो सर, प्रश्न बंजारा भाषा में पूछना है या हिंदी में? बंजारा भाषा। तो प्रश्न असोच मॅडम की बंजारा लँग्वेज आपण बंजारा आणि गोरमाटी समाज बोले ती शिक जावचा, परंतु इतर भाषेकन जर शिकरवी येतो कोणशी लिपी सोबत शिकिरो आणि येरे करता व्यवस्था आपण काही कर सकता.
Presentation start किदीजना. Initially, script is not a barrier. Script is not a barrier for sir.
हा हा
Language development. Script is not a barrier. Speakers and their motivation through the regional languages available is enough. Funny. Recognition and promotion for the language essential रहणो को तो कंपल्सरी एक स्क्रिप्ट को तो अडॉप्ट करनो एंड अबे तक जगह जे कोनो कॉन्फ्रेंसेस या देवनागरी स्क्रिप्ट कन तो डिसीजन ले काबट्टी ओती गो हेड वे ओती वे कंटिन्यू करता हूँ देवनागरी स्क्रिप्ट अडॉप्ट
तो
लैंग्वेज ने अकॉर्ड करे आजी.
हाँ तो एक मैडम देवनागरी लिपी जर रिदे एक एक्झाम्पल समारो की जर बंजारा भाषा जर साहित्य निर्माण वेगे आणि विक्री करता स्टॉलेप मेलजने तो सहज विक्री वे जाय काही आणि बंजारा समाजाचे वाचक निर्माण वेवाळचं व आपण पुस्तक साहित्य खरेदी कर सकत काही जेणेकरून एक आप बंजारा भाषा संबंधित हेडिंग वो हिंदी भाषा लिपी आपण ते लोक समज सकाचा बंजारा लँग्वेज कन्व्हेन्शन इंग्लिश भाषा, परंतु जर आप बंजारा भाषा जर उजी वच लिपी में लखना के तो उन कोई ओळख सके काय मार असं क्यों होतं की स्वतंत्र लिपी सोबत एक स्वतंत्र भाषा ओळख सिद्ध वे जावं फक्त आखी ती देखीत तो नजरेन जर लँग्वेज ABCD आवगी तो आपण इंग्रजी काचा क ख ग घ आवगे तो हिंदी काचा पण नाईलाज असतो पर्याय छेनी कारण आपण अब हिंदी देवनागरी लिपी लेखन करायचा. पण मारे असं मत की एक स्वतंत्र अल्फाबेट जो तेलुगू कन्नड गुजराती पंजाबी तामिळी उर्दू हे जे शिक्षण स्वतंत्र शिक्षण व्यवस्था वच आणि व भाषा जर शिकरवी तर स्वतंत्र अल्फाबेट लागत आणि आयवाळी पिढीनं वो जतन करतो आता वो संस्कृती आणि आपण अल्फाबेट लखेर नंतर वो ट्रान्सलेट होत.
वो काम है आपको डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करे स्टार्ट की दी.
हाँ
तो साउंड्स रास वरकू सिमिलर हिंदी साउंड्स एंड सिमिलैरिटीज है. देवनागरी साउंड्स एंड सिमिलैरिटीज है. हिंदी साउंड्स एंड सिमिलैरिटीज है కాబట్టి కొన్ని ఎక్సెప్షన్స్ అని अब अपन स्क्रिप्ट स्टार्ट करना को तो वन टेक्स्ट बुक करना ना प्राइमरी स्कूल से करना इंट्रोड्यूस करना टीचिंग करना करा एकेडमिशियंस करना स्टार्ट करा उससे काम रास है. ये स्टार्ट की करना करना होता को तो अपन बंजारा कम्युनिटी फर्स्ट इंटेलेक्चुअल स्कूल है एजुकेट हुए को जन्ना स्टार्ट की देवा तो अपन 2022 में तेलुगु को आएगी तो बंजारा लैंग्वेज ये जाती अपन की देखो स्कूल फर्स्ट लिटरेट इंटेलेक्चुअल को वो की देवा तो अब काम ये जाती पर ये
अरे जी भेजाओ नो एक्सप्लेनेशन प्लीज. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ರೇದೋ एक क्वेश्चन नो टाइम शॉर्टेज जेरकला कोई पेपर संबंध से को क्वेश्चन रह तो पूछो नहीं तो गचप पूछे जाओ मत दयविಟ್ಟು. सेकंड पेपर डॉक्टर राजू नायक, Evolution of Banjara Language in Globalized Scenario. Dr. Raju Naik has a MPhil and PhD degrees in English and holds postdoctoral degree from University of California, Berkeley, USA. Presently, he is working as Associate Professor of English Foreign Languages at the University of Hyderabad. He has about 4 books to his credit. He has attended several national and international seminars and presented papers. His articles are published in various reputed. Welcome, Raju Naik. You please go ahead.
Yeah. Sena namaste karto. Today's chair and other dignitaries of the dais and on the dais, and my friends Professor Shanta Naik and Suraj, Madam Professor Surya Dhananjaya, Ramesh Arya ji, all the eminent scholars. So, I want to begin with one question. If any organ in your body stops functioning, what happens to you? We always put a burden on the woman when we talk about culture. But we never ever talk about the men's affairs or men's behavior. So when you talk about culture, we should talk about the both men and women and our very important aspect of culture that we practice. I'm so glad to see Dr. Ramesh Arya Garu in Pancha, But we don't talk about it, The Lambada culture, we used to wear the panchas and the rumal, but we always put blame on the women, Women are not wearing that dress, so our language gone, culture gone. That is not the way to, describe our culture. We should also talk about the men. Keep saying that aside, language is a heart. If your heart stops functioning, you die. So if you don't use the language, your culture, your tradition, everything dies. G.N. Devi, one of his articles talks about it. He says that if the language dies, everything will die. Therefore, language is very important to preserve the culture, preserve the tradition, preserve the epistemology of the community. Epistemology, I mean knowledge. How we can create the knowledge? If the language dies, there won't be a knowledge creation again. That means your race is dying. The whole Banjara race is dying. Then how do we preserve this language? The other day I was traveling, so I was sitting in a bus stop and the couple were discussing. Actually, in the month of June, they went to take an admission in school. And there was an interview. The school authorities are asking them, who are you and what language you speak? Immediately, the husband responded by saying that we are Banjaras and we speak Gorboli. After they came out, the wife was telling him that, why did you say that? We may not get admission into it because they know what language we speak and who we are. So where does this fear generated? How does this fear had come from? So this means earlier the societies which have the script, they were always treated as privileged. A language that has a script is always treated as a privileged. Language which does not have a script is treated as savage. Okay? Therefore, the Lambadas started getting a fear in their mind when they are using this language. Because there is always a kind of derogatory way in which the Banjaras have been seen. Oh, कहते थे ना कहाँ कहते थे तुमने क्या मालूम रहे जारे बाटी and बोटी खाया वाला तुमने क्या मालूम. And today I thank the diabetes. Everybody is, every nook and corner you go, you see a jarer bati center. So it is not only the language, even the food culture has been popularized through certain methods, through certain ways. Therefore, the language also has been popularized through certain ways and which is always a dominant way. I'm skipping some of these points. It says the world today is always dominated. It's always dominated by language, the language that you speak. But we developed a kind of fear in our minds that, we lost using this. Therefore, in Oxford Dictionary, they say that if you don't use, you will lose. So today we are discussing that we need to preserve, we need to put it in a document, 8th schedule, and it should be recognized. There should be a language, there should be a grammar, there should be everything, preserved. Let's say the government recognizes it and puts in a 8th schedule, but you don't use, what happens to it? Today, people who are sitting in the conference hall are scared to use that language because there is a societal imposition on them. So we need to come out of it. Gugi Watiango says that, Decolonizing Mind, in his book, he says that he took a promise. He stopped writing in English and he said, if I write in English, it helps only the colonizers, not my own people. Right? So whatever the attempts that are made by the authors and poets from these communities, I have read Shantanai's book and Surya's book and Ramesh Karthik's, other Ramesh, all these books are trying to preserve the epistemology of the Lambadas. Yes, you print the books, but what happens to the books once they go to the library? Are the scholars using their terms? So therefore, the researchers should give more opportunities to use this language again and again. And how does it is possible? Academics like this, Sahitya academies, should be given more opportunities to the scholars who are coming from these communities to engage and do the research on these languages. They should provide fellowships and they should give an opportunity to work on these secondary sources which are published by the authors from the Banjara community. Organizing a conference, I really appreciate for giving this opportunity and allowing us to discuss today in the heart of Hyderabad. But that's not enough. They should also accommodate communities from this background and allocate some funds to reproduce them, recreate the knowledge. And that helps to preserve the epistemology of the Banjaras. Otherwise, it is difficult. And what he says, in this globalized capital world, the contemporary world is so much ingrained in this politics that's called language politics. If we don't do the language politics, we ourselves are trying to erase the so-called Banjara community. I don't want to use the Banjara because the Telangana state never recognizes the Banjara term. It gives the reservation through the Lambadi term. And it is also a kind of politics that the state used. In each state, this community had been put in the different categories. And just now, Vijaya Madam raised a question. According to the recognition of the language, only 10,000 people speaking language is enough to recognize and put it in a 8th schedule. Please, my dear scholars, understand the politics. There are about 9 crore people are speaking this language. Today morning I saw a video which is documented in Orissa and which is in Punjab, in Rajasthan. So all of them are speaking this language, but why the state doesn't recognize this? What makes or what stops them to recognize this? So it is a hidden politics that the state plays that we need to understand. And we need to come out of it. Language carries culture and culture carries everything. Today we are seeing our people are sitting here, including Ramesh Aryaji and the women from these communities. That is where you exhibit yourself. That's how you excel yourself. If not that, then there is no scope for this community as well as the language. And language is one of the very, very important aspects that the community should carry. And I don't want to take much time, but I wanted to say, please allow your children to use this language. Speak when you go back to your home. That itself is a contribution to the saving this language. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
कोई questions ना रहो तो third paper presentation in invite करो सो please. Okay, so third paper is presenting Dr. M. Vandana Reshmi, Survival of Banjara Culture in Cosmopolitan Society. Dr. M. Vandana Reshmi as Roshni as working as an assistant professor in the Department of English. So all of my colleagues here, all from my English department. I am the only Kannada, I am the Kannada man. So Department of English, she holds MA English and PhD. She has attended several national seminars, international, presented papers. Her articles are published in various journals. Please, I welcome you to presenting.
Good morning, dear delegates and dignitaries, whoever attended to this conference. And my dear colleagues, and Professor Surya Dhananjay ma'am, and Vice Ex-Vice Chancellor D.B. Naik sir, and honor of this program Chief Guest Dr. Ramesh Arya, and all the research scholars and paper presenters. Very good morning to you all. And today, my topic, myself, Dr. M. Vandana Roshni, Malot Vandana Roshni, Ram, Sain, Sevalal, Jai Sevalal, survival of Banjara culture. It's my favorite topic actually, which I have done my research in PhD also, a critical study of modernity, identity and religion in Lambada language in Telangana. That was my PhD topic. As far as now, I am doing my postdoctorate in Hyderabad Central University, and my topic is related to the migration of women, their culture and work and empowerment in Hyderabad city. Migration of women. So it is also much related to the topic of survival of Banjara culture in cosmopolitan societies. And let's introduce me what is culture. Culture distinguishes human from animals. Preservation of culture is essential for our identity. India is a unity of diversity of culture that is most important feature of Indian society. Any culture is one of them which preserves like their language, dress, ethnicity, identity, tradition, food culture, whatever it is. And the population, whichever the population residing is, they have to stick to the culture, whatever the culture they have. And coming to cosmopolitanism. Cosmopolitanism, which is derived from the Greek word. Cosmos means world and politan, citizens. It's a world citizen. Where the idea that all human beings are in cosmopolitan, where all different languages, different religions, creed, caste, they live in one place, is known as cosmopolitan society or city or whatever it is. Okay, now coming to Banjara community. The word Banjara is derived from Vanjara, and Vana means forest, Jara means wanderers. Hence, it means forest wanderers. Both the term, it means in Telugu states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, they are known as Lambada or Lambadi. They are sometimes called the gypsies of India. They are listed in various states as scheduled caste in Karnataka and scheduled tribes in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and denotified tribes in Maharashtra, and Vimukti Jati in other places. In Telugu states they are an ST.
Okay, large population of Banjaras in Telangana speak Telugu. Okay, large population who are like Banjara because they have regional effect. This is the regional effect. That's the reason most of the Banjaras are speaking in Telugu. And their traditional occupation is agriculture and trade. Now the agriculture, because of its heavy land rates and labor charges, many of the and this SEZ involvement and project this thing, many of them are migrating to cities, nearby cities and towns and urban areas. And that migration I will talk about the topic later. Let me talk little history. With roots in Rajasthan, Banjara now live in several states of India and are known by different names. The Banjaras recited the British attempt to seize their lands for plantations and enroll them as labor. Their revolt against the British resulted in them being bought under the Criminal Tribes Act in 1871. They were put to hard labor in order to cure their criminal tendencies. So, in order to eradicate this criminal tendencies, many Lambada or Banjara, they have fought against the British in order to eradicate the term. And Meena Radhakrishnan, she has written this thing about the Banjara tribe. She has quoted in her book about how the Lambaras were treated and they put in as a criminal tribe in her book. And coming to now, Banjara community culture. Banjaras generally prefer their food as boti and bati. They like spicy food. And saloi and fere boti are the one main concept which that. But now coming to the city or urban environment, now totally they have left with all those food items and they started into modern westernization food items which they picked from the nowadays if we are eating but our children they doesn't prefer those foods. If we keep some rituals are done like when we are celebrating the festivity to our Dadaji or whatever Asian just now Sir, Dr. Ramesh Arya sir said, like we do our ritual celebrations to Dadi Dada. That time we prepare this soda. We keep to our children. They won't eat because it's a total westernization and moderation impact which is coming on our children. And how many, when the coming to how many children of the employees children are speaking in language? That we have to think. We have to teach our children in such a way that the language, mainly just now, even Vijaya ma'am and Dr. Raju Naik sir, they were telling about the language is the main thing to remember the culture. But language which is getting diluted, totally diluted in a system of modernity. Modernity has focusing more on the, like we want everyone to learn English. Everyone want to learn English. So by birth, when they are born at 1 year or 2 years, like after their birth, one or something, we want them to educate in English. So we will we are cultivating the habit of speaking in English. We are not teaching what is the essential things we have to teach them. We are not teaching them Gor Boli or Gor language. If we teach, they will be cultivated to speak. They will learn. But we are making them to speak so that my daughter, my son should become good at speaking English, and tomorrow he should get good seat in a very good corporate school by paying some lakhs of rupees, because modernity is increasing in the society. Modernity where it's killing your language, culture, identity and tradition. Lot many things are happening in the society. And part of my research, recently I have conducted a research on women migration from different areas of Telangana, like Shadnagar, Old Mahbubnagar district, Shadnagar, Balanagar, and some places, Achampet. Many people have migrated, Narayan Khed, Jairabad. These are the parts of old Medak, but now it has been Sangareddy, under the district of Sangareddy and Warangal. Many people have settled in Nadigadda Tanda near Miapur. And these people, near 500 families are residing over there. They have long back, 20 years or back, they have occupied the land, and they have just temporary tents has been constructed, and now the recognition, recently there was a survey went on it. When my fieldwork was there, so they told me that recently they got some numbers the government has given some this thing, rules, and they are organizing some permanent housing for them. So now the housing system over there is temporary houses. But the people, how they totally, when I ask them, why did you leave your ancient, whatever the village or a place, then they were saying that the land, there is lot of pulling by the higher community, that is mainstream community people. They are pulling our lands, and for many, this Shadnagar is very much development. In the case like Balanagar is also very, very near to the city. So they are into crores of money they are offering. They are gambling the people over there. They are gambling the people over there, and they're pulling the land. Recently, from 10 years, it is increasing, what they said. And they have now just come here and they have settled here. Just some are working ladies, especially women, are working as domestic workers in apartments, and sales girls, saleswomen, and their life is so terrible, so terrible. And some are self-employed, like keeping kirana shop, vegetable vendor, vegetable sellers, and fruit sellers. And I observed during my field work from Bongiri, most of the near Yadagiri Gutta, Bongiri, Mandal, many women, they are seasonal migration. According to the season, they come and sell like custard apple or whatever, the blueberries or whatever it is, all the the groundnuts, to the roadside. Because this is happening totally because of the migration, where migration is throwing one way. Education, in the term of education, it is giving, it's a development. But in terms of the poor, uneducated, I don't call it as uneducated, because they are not having education. They are suffering there, and they are doing their, in order to get rid of their economic financial status, they are working in that way. That's what modernity or westernization, that is throwing them into the very worst condition. When we go into the deep into our our Banjara community or Lambada community, many communities, only hardly 20%, when I was done my 36% of women and 45% of girls migrated due to lack of employment opportunities from the native places. Drought, low wages, unemployment, and land alienation, along with poverty, indebtedness, were reported reasons for their migration. And marriage was found to be the single most, and marriage, because this is where women migrate to the cities and towns, because their husbands are working over here, and they need to come along with their husband and take care of their family and do their household works. That's the reason many families have settled and taking care of their family. And these women, mainly the culture, what just now Rajanaik sir said, the culture changes. Yeah, culture there is a women as well as men. Men in the offices, government offices, those who are working in government offices, they feel that if they speak in the Lambada language, they feel shy, they are discriminated, they are criticized. They think that, and they won't speak in language. But over 1 second. That's the reason we are forgetting our identity, our culture. They feel discriminated. Why you should feel? Because you're born in that caste, you're born in the community, your mother is Banjara, Lambada, then why you want to feel such a discrimination? Why can't you speak? When Muslim, sorry to say Muslim, but when Muslim is remembering their culture, they want to remove the burqa. Why the hijab, this thing is going on? Then why the argument, why can't we argue with any people, whoever is discriminating you? Why you want to forget your identity? Why you want to lose your tradition? That's what I want whoever my friends or my community people to remember, whenever you're speaking, say Ram Ram, Baruchika. Nobody doesn't, whether he's a very extraordinary person or VIP, don't care. We are born in this caste, in this community, so we have to stay with our things. And now coming to the cultural practices of mainstream community, how many this Varalakshmi Vratam by the women of this in Hyderabad and in the because I don't know much about the Bombay, Delhi, this thing. But now coming to the Hyderabad city, many women who are there, they have adopted the Telugu culture. Like Varalakshmi Vratam, Ganesh Chaturthi, these are not a festival. Okay, you can do Sitla, you can do Tej, everything, but these are not. And the Tej now, Sitla, which is celebrated in Usmania College or University or Nizam College recently, it is funding. The educated youth are in the in gambling. It's not that they should have, like, they have to like celebrate with their heart. It should not like they should gamble the something in order to celebrate this thing. Okay, sorry for saying gambling or whatever, but whatever we are born, so we should have this tendency and celebrate the festival. Okay, coming to the conclusion, because there's a lot more to speak about the cultural changes. Okay, one conclusion that could be arrived at here is that forces of modernity have sought to overflow Lambada community and totally overwhelm them. The areas where the impact has been largely felt include entry of other religions, language, and dress, impact of the dowry system. Main the causes dowry system now, which is threatening to kill the infants and the girl child in the womb itself. Many because if a girl is born, the society is discriminating the female who is given birth. This is very ridiculous in the society community. Okay, food habits and the system of local governance. While modernization has shaken up the traditional Lambada totally in way of considerable extent. Thank you.
वतने ना जतन करनो, वतने ना जतन करनो, अन वक्ते पर खर्च करनो, जब एक मरो भी अड़ जाए, वो तो एक मरो भी अड़ जाए, वो तो वकी मुंगा मोल का जो एक वास्ता अपनमाई, मुंगा मोल वक्री से वाते टाइम अपनो ना साथ देरी कोंती वाते तो मुंगा मोल वक्रीज टाइम साथ देरी कोंती जेती मैं शॉर्ट है मैं एक 2 निमिष में अथवा एक 5 मिनट में ये सेशन खत्म करने को मन ये कर रहे हैं सर मैं घन वाते करे वेती एक आधो घंटा तो ये वाते करने को वेती मना आई एम सॉरी 3 पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन इंग्लिश में वेगे सर जेटी में गोरुमाई प्रेजेंटेशन करें में अभिमानित ही मत करो मार वाते कजे रांग ये तीनी कहीं प्रेजेंटेशन किधे से वो पर मार कहीं कमेंट्स छे नहीं मार कहीं कमेंट्स छे नहीं आज थी मार समझो तो कोई कोर भी है कहीं में ये से गोर सर किसी मार कहीं कमेंट छे नहीं आते थे यंगस्टर्स आज काम कर रहे सर अच्छी अच्छी वाते अंदर कहीं सब्जेक्ट देम लेते वो फ्रेम में वाते किदेच कर मां समझू छू का तो क्वेश्चन भी है ही कोनी रेद अजी कति वक्त मળી है जत मुंगा मोल करी आगे डायरेक्टली मार वाते दगरे आऊँ छू तो हार्ड टाइम कमेगी मां टांडा कल्चर और टांडा सिस्टम मेरे बारे में बातें करने को नहीं टांडा कल्चर और टांडा सिस्टम एक पॉइंट में ले दो तो दूसरा हमारा विचार वे थी कि द एवोल्यूशन ऑफ बंजारा लैंग्वेज एंड इट्स डेवलपमेंट ये दो ही ऊपर एक आधो घंटा तो ही बातें करे हुए थी मन टाइम मडरी कौन थी जेती मां हनूज वाले मोराड़ ना पूछ वाले मोराड़ ना पूछो दीपक ये जाए वे नहीं है ये मन माँ कहीं कहीं को केन जाइयो ओके एक बात तो खरी है कि कुणसी भी समुदाय रहता कम्युनिटी रहता जनजाति रहता स्वतंत्रವಾಗಿ डेवलप ಏನು ಸಾಧ್ಯ છે कुणसी भी कम्युनिटी रखा तो मार कहनी ये है कि दुसर कम्युनिटी जोड़ी कतरा असोसिएट वेमाचा कुछ जुतर भाषा जोड़ी कतरा अपन असोसिएट वेमाचा अत्र अपन भाषा मत्तो संस्कृति कल्चर एंड लैंग्वेज दोईन डेवलप करेन साध्य छ ई आपण हृदय रेदन जते लोगोनी आपण तांडो बांधले 100 वर्ष 100 वर्ष लार काही तांडा बांध मले ते ओतच छा ओन छोड़ दे जी आपण आंग आइन तयारी छे ते आपण कल्चर हाळ वेजाच आपण मूल कल्चर काय छे ओना रखाळले दूसर कल्चर है मैं आज चीज काय छे ओन आपण अडॉप्ट कर लेनो पड़े तो आपण संस्कृति अन लैंग्वेज दोई डेवलप करेन साध्य छ अब काय को कह रहे थे आप बड़ी लाख से भी अपन पॉपुलेशन दकाळ में छे 2011 में लाख वो कसे में इंग्लिश बात करूंगा तो अपन में 27 नमोनी गोर सा अपन 27 दूसर स्टेट एम आई दूसर एम आई अपन दूसर येती बलारायची जेती वो कोई बंजारा वे कोणती बंजारा कजो को एक वर्ड शेरी जेती आपण पॉपुलेशन कती को जारी तेलंगाना वाला लंबाड़ा केलेला कर्नाटक वाला लमानी केलेला लंबाडी केलेला दूसर मराठा वाला ये वो कहताने नुवेन आपण पॉपुलेशन इनक्रीज वेरी कोणती डिक्रीज वेती जारीच एक बंजारा कजो को एक वर्ड मेले तानी आपण ब्रैकेट में चावा लंबाड़ा तो ही घाल लो या लमानी तो ही घाल लो या दूसर स्टेट में काय वन ब्रैकेट में घालना तो अपन पॉपुलेशन निखरवागी कतरीच इंडिया में कजको मालूम होता और तो आपनोना दबाव करस आपनोना त्रास दबाते जात अपन लाख से मजरे मासा करोड़ से भाई आमानी 9-10 करोड़ सारी इंडिया में छक तो बड़ी 10 लाख चावा आपनोना एक शेड्यूल में घाले ना 10 लाख रही तो ढेर अपन 9-10 कोटी था अपन तो भी अपन ना अबे लोगों ने भी कंसीडर कर रहे कौन थी तो वो डायरेक्शन में अपन थिंक करे कि हर एक स्टेट में बंजारा कजो को वर्ड घाल लेता नहीं अपन ब्रैकेट में दूसर नाम घाल ले लो तो अपन पॉपुलेशन बढ़ सका था अपन कल्चर भी बढ़ा सका था हम जो कर्नाटक तांडा डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन थी कर्नाटक स्टेट वाल जो एक कमिटी करता नहीं बंजारा एक्शन प्लान कर देनु डेवलपमेंट ऑफ बंजारा लैंग्वेज के ताने न एक ई के देते जमे मेंबर कन्वीनर रहतो अपन आर्या जी मेंबर वेते हंपा नागराज वो कमिटी में चेयरमैन रहतो ई एक्शन प्लान काई पूरी तिथि अपन लैंग्वेज डेवलपमेंट करनो लैंग्वेज पूरी तिथि अपन गे भक्तो लैंग्वेज डेवलपमेंट वर्क का जो ये रिपोर्ट है मैं हम देमने जा कर्नाटक गवर्नमेंट है बेस्ड ऑन दैट the Karnataka government approved उन अप्रूव करता नहीं दी यूनिवर्सिटी में एक जो रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट की देता और अजय के में जो कलेक्शन ऑफ मटेरियल दी देम लेता तो अचानक अपन लैंग्वेज डेवलप वेजात का जो कावा हर एक स्टेट है में एक्शन प्लान कर लेता है लैंग्वेज एंड कल्चर डेवलप करे वास्तव काई काई करनो ते स्टेट वाला अपन दबाव घालनो पड़ता वो रीति थी अपन गे भाकर तो डेफिनेटली अपन सक्सीड वे मासा 8th शेड्यूल में घरे न काई मुश्किल वे नहीं कर मनंता ये त्री वाते के तो हुआ बोशा मा काई न्याय देर वे को नहीं आता मा काई काई को एक 10 पेजेस में पॉइंट्स करने तो रेदा कति भी मुगा मोल भी है जत मा ये वकुसो थैंक यू वेरी मच
लेकिन आपका वाणी को हम लोग किताब के रूप में जब लाएंगे तो आपका वाणी सुरक्षित रहेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर पीके खांडोबा जी। So I think since all of them from Western languages, that is from English, so I sincerely thank all the three of them, including the chair, for taking pains, for not giving sufficient time to deliver what you have prepared. Kindly excuse for that. And I think as Professor Khandobaji is rightly saying about the recognition and all those things, for that I think if everyone agrees, I think Dr. Ramesh Aryaji is there at Delhi level. He will take care of all these things, whatever is necessary at the hierarchy level. He is there every time to look after those necessary things. Yeah, this session session will come to an end. But we shall come back here at exactly at 2:30 if time permits us, because let this gap be not there. So let us fill up this gap by minimizing our lunch session. Now lunch is arranged at the ground floor inside of the hall only. So for that, since there are simultaneously 3 programs are being organized at this very venue. At the first floor there is one more program is going on. At the ground floor there is one more, and the second floor one more program. So kindly because of this, kindly collect the lunch tokens. The small token is there. My colleague Mr. Bharathi will distribute by standing at the entrance of this gate. So kindly collect, don't feel bad. And one more thing, in the morning there was an inconvenience with regard to the lift. Now the lift is working, so kindly make use of all those elders. You can, and we shall come back for the second session exactly at 2:30, where Banjara language and patriarchal elements on this topic, 3 papers are going to be present. With this, I sincerely thank all the participants of this first session and the chair for devoting your time for this. Thank you so much.